In 1916, Henri Matisse could hear the frontline artillery duel from his newly built studio in Issy-les-Moulineaux on the outskirts of Paris. Unable to enlist, he confronted the usefulness of making art in the face of the pounding stupidity of hatred. A few miles away, his older son Jean huddled in a frozen trench. A few miles beyond that lay Beaune-en-Vermandois, his childhood home, where much of his extended family suffered the depredations of German occupation. In Paris, his great competitor, Picasso, a neutral in the war, was tearing up the norms of painting with his cubist collages, once again threatening Matisse with artistic irrelevance. The painter responded with a masterpiece. In late 1916, he completed The Piano Lesson. Superficially, it is a study of his son Pierre practicing the piano. Beyond this, it is one of the great inquiries into the nature of art making. An artist sits at his instrument and considers. We see the make of the piano, Playe, wrought as part of the music stand. The word is also an old spelling of play, and in Middle French it translates as wound or damage. Matisse made some of the most sublimely beautiful images in European art, but they always came at great personal cost, both physically and mentally. On top of the piano, the candle burns briefly as the artist attempts immortality through creation. Rigorous discipline is necessary, and so the metronome beats relentlessly as life passes, its form reflected inside the mind of the artist. In the left corner, the other ingredient of art, represented by a female, hand caressing her inner thigh, the primal creative urge, without which discipline only creates repetition. This figure is based on Decorative Figure, which Matisse completed in 1908 and kept in his new studio. A musical score connects her with the piano, also read as a balcony, beyond which the world of nature, echoing the triangular motifs of the metronome, shines in, luminous green, and inspires the creative process. Above and behind the artist sits a female figure. Her form is based on the painting Woman on a High Stool, completed in 1914 and hanging in the studio at this time. The painting is an important precursor to the more radical piano lesson. Who sits in judgment of this painting? The artist alone? All the artists of the past and present, including Picasso? Contemporary society? A spirit of criticism as fearsome as the Old Testament Jehovah? This is a radical and supremely innovative work of art, but I believe its genesis can be traced to a much older painting by Matisse's friend Pierre Bonnard. The similarity struck me immediately when I first encountered the small Bonnard study in North Carolina Museum of Art. Lessons is 20 1/4 inches by 13 1/4 inches, oil on board, painted in 1889. It was part of Bonnard's estate when he died. Matisse was a frequent visitor to the reclusive Bonnard, and there is every reason to think that he may have seen this study. Bonnard held on to it for almost 50 years, which suggests he held it in high esteem. The sort of thing that artists would share with each other, even if it was not considered finished enough for sale. Let us examine the similarities between the pieces. Most obviously, there are the common titles. In the Bonnard, the title is a little obscure. Lessons. Is the child finished with or about to start a piano lesson? Or is the lesson more domestic, the preparation of a dinner table? The Matisse is more obvious. but in both the enigmatic child figure gazes out towards the viewer, beseeching some explanation of the world. A front object, piano or chair and table, trap the children within the confines of the painting, under surveillance and waiting. Inside the recessed space, the same elements occur: table, female figure, and the chair, very similar in both paintings. Behind both children is a doorway into a deeper space, another room in which a female character resides. The figure hovers in space, a guide, a critic, a muse, a parent, distant but watchful. The paintings are divided vertically by the door frames. The triple bands are quite abstract in the Matisse, but we can see a similar triple vertical in the Bonnard, rendered more intelligibly. To the left of this is a flat space interrupted by a foreground object, a balcony in the Matisse, a piano and flowers in the Bonnard. The front foreground is split by the black shadow in the Matisse and the piano leg in the Bonnard. The piano leg is remarkably similar in form and colour to the sculpture placed in the bottom left by Matisse. A very similar rhythm is created across the bottom third, which directs the strong vertical energy back into and up to the top of the paintings. There are major differences between the composition, the placement of the piano being the most obvious, but both share a very similar feeling. There is an oppressive sense of obligation on the children, framed by a profound sense of beauty, a result of that obligation confronted perhaps. I believe that there are enough similarities to consider the Bonnard study to be a major source of inspiration for one of the great paintings produced in the 20th century.